Okay, so I wanted to do a video explaining how I've done this photogrammetry model, which is a collection of pictures that then went through a program called Meshroom, and then Meshlab to kind of decimate it, and then eventually put it into Unity. It's pretty much my first go, so I'm learning as I go along, but hopefully it will help some of you guys along the way if you're interested in trying similar things. It's done out really nicely. It's a bit time consuming, but it's fun to do. So the first thing you need is to download Meshroom, which is free, available for Windows and Linux only. I'm afraid Mac users out of luck, and it's so super easy to use. You power it up, and you obviously need pictures of whatever object you want to scan. So ideally you want to take the photographs on a cloudy day, so overcast. You don't want harsh shadows, and you want to essentially kind of go round the whole of the object, both high and low. And I'll show you. Essentially, the process is you just grab all the pictures that you took, drag them in here in Meshroom, and it'll do its thing and it'll export. And you can see, so I took that first picture and I just walked around a little bit, then walk around a little bit more, then walk around a little bit more, and you want them to be sharp as possible. Well, you want them to be sharp, full stop. Anything that's blurry, just don't use it, delete it. And that's pretty much what I've got. So I've gone round taking details closer up as well, but do make sure that you keep most of them, like the entire object. So essentially Meshroom will then work out where your camera position is. So you can see what I've done. I've taken them from high and low. Actually not that low in this one, there's only 82 pictures altogether. Some of them in the other scan of the tree trunk, I think there were about 130. But literally just import it, import these images and file, save as, so you save your project somewhere, and then click start and give it a chance to do its thing. And it can vary from anything from 15 minutes to half an hour, sometimes more, depending obviously on your PC. You need a fairly hefty PC to do its magic. If I open this one, which I've done already, so you don't have to. So this is the hollow log. And you can see if I zoom in, all of these little icons show me where the camera and you can right click to kind of rotate. I'm not doing a very good job of rotating, but you can kind of see it's almost like talk about point clouds. So you can see all the camera positions that I took, all of these 82 pictures, and I think you can mess around with all of this, but actually that's pretty much all you need. After it's finished, you'll get this kind of thing, and then an export next to your project file. And so it's gone through lots and lots of stages. Actually, let me open that up again so you see the stages. It's node based, so these are each of the stages, from camera, feature extraction, and ends on texturing. So they're essentially all of the folders, and you've got kind of files and exports and caches at various stages, but the one you really want is the final folder, and it's an object, the material, OBJ file, material, and 4 textures. I'm assuming, depending on the size and settings of your texture node exports, you'll get different variations. So what I tend to do is I just grab a copy of that, make a copy here. I've done that already, and then I opened it up in Blender. Okay, so let's open Blender and you'll see it. So to open it in Blender, you just literally open Blender and then do a OBJ import, and so they're huge files. That's the main thing to realize. I'm talking like a million verts, 2 million faces, but that's the result. You can see it's super impressive for zero work. One of the problems though is if you do decimation in here in Blender, it doesn't do like the best job, and also if you go into cycles and you want to do, if you wanted to do a kind of a cycles, you have to essentially rebuild the material. So fine if you're just doing kind of a basic Blender stuff, but then let's say you're kind of reliant on the modifiers in Blender for that aren't quite as good for decimation. So decimate. I'm talking about decimation in order to get these counts down for Unity, so for a game engine. If you're doing it really properly, like a pro would, you'd be thinking about more retopologizing the whole mesh and essentially doing it from scratch, but using this as your high poly model. So you could bake lots of, you could bake your normal map, ambient occlusion, all those kinds of things off this high res, and then you'd retopologize the mesh for a low poly version that you would then use the normal maps and the textures on. But I'm kind of cutting corners, so I'm not going to bother with that. But what I am going to use, so yeah, I do want to quit without saving, instead of Blender, is Meshlab. Show you Meshlab, which is another free open source, and it's a kind of it calls itself a system for processing and editing 3D triangular meshes. It's available for Windows and Mac OS and Linux. It's a bit more techy, less user friendly, but it works well. So you open your OBJ. We're in Hololog. Give it a chance to load its stuff. And it's a bit tricky to kind of navigate, but essentially you've got these, a bit like in Unity or most 3D packages, you can use these to kind of pan around. The mouse wheel to me works backwards to what you expect. Pull back to go in, push forward to go out. You'll notice, so in here you'll start noticing these kind of floating areas, and you can use these selectors to then grab that and delete them. So this deletes the faces and the vertices. This just selects vertices, it selects faces, and these are the kind of connected ones, so if you pick one on here it will select everything else. So yeah, keep an eye out on these think anything that's kind of floating and needs to be got rid of. And also essentially you're kind of looking to just grab the area around. I mean, the exterior or the surrounding areas are going to be low resolution because most of the camera shots were pointing towards the one object that you're trying to select, so you can pretty much ignore everything around. And the kind of things you can do is you can then select these as a rectangle, but I guess I find it slightly easier just to paint. So hang on, let me show you doing it this way. So now I don't want to do the deletion, I want to do the select faces. So you could do it like this, or until you've got what you need. And inside filters, selection, invert selection, invert faces, invert vertices, yeah. Close. So there is no undo in Meshlab, annoyingly. So it kind of always looks it's a bit scary. You can do duplicate current layer and give yourself backups. I'm just going to go yeah, delete. So I selected that, I inverted and then just deleted all the vertices and faces. I'm just left with this area. Now I don't think I want all of this, and also probably, you can see this is pretty manky. If I'm thinking of it kind of sitting in my scene, I'm just essentially want something a bit smoother looking all the way around. So I'm going to paint around it. When you select the paintbrush, it defaults to actually painting vertex colors, which is why the textures are off. Turn them back on by clicking texture coordinates on, and make sure that you click on this red vertex. You can change the size and then kind of just paint around it for the area that you definitely want to lose. Be fairly generous and keep a nice area around. You can always go back in and delete it some more. Okay. Escape key toggles between the brush and the panning, so you can do a bit of brushing and then just check. So I can see I'm missing some stuff here, so escape, and I tend to click that just to be sure. Can I do a bit more over there? Escape, escape. It's a bit smoother. Now if you find that you've done too much, you can use your your right mouse button to deselect, left mouse button to paint. Just want to make sure I've got all of these bits. So it seems that the paintbrush tool doesn't do back faces. Maybe there's an option somewhere. Vertex search, I think slow and accurate does a paint on back faces. That will help, eh? Yeah, stupid me. So maybe I should go back and do my top view. That will help. Escape. Okay, escape. give it another. I'll just go in slightly more just to make sure. Much better. So yes, so remember to turn on paint back faces, otherwise you're just going to end up with lots of unselected back faces. Okay. Oh, that'll do. Let's go one more. So I just want to make sure I'm not kind of cutting off any bits that might be worth keeping, but yeah, no, that'll do. Maybe. Probably, I mean, you get your, I guess your choices are you can either get really tight in or leave a little bit of a ledge around so it sits nicely into your terrain. Just going to go like that for now. You can always go back in and delete some more. So delete those. You can see there's still a little bit just flying in the distance, so select this one. I'm going to do it. I think that's it. So we've, oh no, there's a little bit there. Just here. Oh, don't crash. So it has a tendency to crash, eh? There you go. Lesson learned. Save. And we go again. It seems to crash mostly on those tiny little details for some weird reason. Right, well, I'll be super quick this time because I know exactly what I'm doing and you get a chance to see it again. So, make a rectangular selection that's more or less where you want it to be. Except I've selected the one that is connected, so anything that's connected to this is going to be selected, which was not what I wanted. Select, right, so this is the one I want. Okay, filters, selection, invert, close, delete, get the paint out, make sure I've got back faces, slow and accurate, make that a bit bigger, okay. And I'm going to be a little bit harsher this time, just going to escape to toggle, see if there's anything around here, escape toggle again, let's make sure I've got that selected. That's a bit. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So you can see there's a little bit there. I'm gonna save. Oh, I was in the right place. Yeah, that'll do. So Meshlab clean up. Oh. Okay. There's a better one anyway. I think that's done a better job now. I'm slightly worried. Like you can see how, if you're looking on, this is going to sit. This looks to me like it's. How can I put it? If that log is going to sit horizontal on the ground, I can get it more or less horizontal. I can see how this area is potentially going to stick out. So actually, I think I need to tidy all of this around. Let's do that. Back faces, slow, accurate. Smooth that up. And just ignore all of that detail. It seems like a good idea at the time, but actually I think this is going to work better in game. Oh, so press the wrong thing for a second, or either that or I've selected something that I didn't mean to. That's it. Remember, left click to deselect. Escape. Yeah, that looks good. I've missed some, so definitely save. So that's where it seems to save. Save incrementally. Lessons learned over the years of programming. Select, just do this big box selection. This one. All of this stuff. Okay. It's looking really nice actually, that's brilliant. It's pretty sure that whenever things crash and you have to redo them, it's always for a good reason. Save. I'm happy with that actually. Yeah. So the reason for actually being a Meshlab is this remeshing, simplification. Now, I have no idea what most of these do, and I'm sure experts can do a really good job using them, but the one that's recommended is this simplification quadratic edge. Now, if you look at the videos, it seems to say use this one, simplify mesh using a quadratic, yeah, better than clustering but slower. I'm happy to wait. This one preserves a UV parameterization, so I'm guessing it's the one to use because we are interested in UVs, so I'm going to go with that one. And then we're talking target number of faces. Now I think pretty much by default so what have we got? Oh no, we have 583 bits. Target number of faces, yeah, so I'm right. By default it goes for a 50% reduction. It should be 0.5 on here, so you could say I want a 0.3. I'm not sure how you'd have to experiment to see how each of these change. So I definitely want to preserve my normals, and additional constraint improves the quality of the planar portion. Yeah, why not? I don't mind waiting for it, that's good. Tries not to destroy mesh boundaries. Not too bothered, I don't think. So what do I want to get down to? That's still really high. Say 300,000. 2.5. Let's go 2.5. It's still a high poly mesh, you know. It's so you'd have to kind of further LOD it at a later stage, or you can do various runs in Meshlab doing some heavy decimations. So yeah, and that's done a decent job without kind of breaking things up too much. It's looking really nice. So file, export mesh as 250k, I'll call that, I guess. And yeah, just going to stick with OBJ. Save. And I do want to save all my textures. Okay, that's good so far. Now I want to try while I'm here. How do I load? Reload? Possibly. Let's try it. So I'm at 2.5. Just interested in seeing, because I'm wondering whether, yeah, no, that I think I've heard about this being an issue. Essentially you have to close it and reopen it. Reload doesn't seem to do its job. So file, open project, Photogrammetry, HoloLog. And which one did I do there? That was the master, wasn't it? So much for saving the project. It's not actually saved the okay, well, it's worth a try. That's good to know. So it doesn't seem to, once you've done your deletions, it doesn't actually save any of that, I don't think. Let's try the original, the one that's not a 0. That's annoying. Yeah, no, it doesn't. So what I was essentially trying to do, instead I'll just open was to decimate from the original rather than decimate a decimated version, if that makes sense. So my guess is a bit like, I don't know, if you don't want to recompress an MP3, you kind of want to so what am I doing? Remeshing. Let's go even further now. So yeah, so each time we could go 50%. Till it starts to no longer look like what we want it to look like. That's done already. I didn't notice a thing. It's looking good. Actually, I'm going to think I might stick with that as LOD 0. retopologise. So we're at 125. And let's go again. Yeah, keep going. So let's go 60. So now I can start seeing problems. Well, problems. It's definitely lower res, but for a game, and for keep going. I should have been ticking these, shouldn't I? That was a bit stupid. So you can see why I'm thinking I think each time you really should be going from the highest quality so that it can do its simplification from the full resolution, rather than simplifying a simplification, which is just going to end up mashing things up. Yeah, so as it is, I'm just going to go, yeah, whatever. But I'll probably redo this. Yeah, it's really broken up. I'll more than likely redo this in my own time and do it properly, because that's just a little, I can see it, and that's just no good. I get, you know, it's a distance LOD, but 7K, 15,000 faces, still quite high. So I mean, this is where doing it properly with retopology would really benefit, make it super low poly. It's just unfortunately not really a skill I have, so I'm slightly reliant on these kind of tools, just, you know, one click. But what are we down to? 15. Oh, I'm not sure if we saved our 30. That's a shame. 15. Yes, actually I think what you really should do is each time at least reload that 250k. Let me do that as new project, import mesh. Yeah, that's the high res. Sure, I've got these optimal preserved planar, yeah. And so this is 125. Just redoing these, doing it properly. Yeah, new, open, each time just going with the highest source that I've got. I think that's the way to go. So this time I want to go down to, say, 60. Oh, forgot. Oh no, it's remembered, thankfully. Yeah, slightly better. You're still a bit messed up, but still. Good. It's much better than the last one at 30. So I guess one of the things you could do, export mesh as use some smoothing actually. Let's see. Let's do some. So I was down to 30. Let's go down to 15. Copies. Because 15 is definitely like all mashed up. Not sure how useful that is, but. What do these do? Depth smooth, fractal displacement. Who knows? So is it possibly? It's hard to tell what's going to be. Let's try. Nothing to lose. It's exported already anyway. Smooth. Oh, you've got a preview, even better. That's better. Okay, go with that. And it's probably a case for trying that on some of the other ones. Just try with that. Oh, I love the fact that these ones have got. So that's kind of really changing the mesh a little bit too much for me. But yeah, play around, you know. Wow. Well, I'll leave it at that. Definitely going to keep that 15 for mesh. Export mesh as. Okay. Right. In Unity. working on. So you'll recognize that from the video. There's my stuff, there it is. So let's put something next to it, I guess. I'll put it down here. So what did I do? Let's create a folder to keep things tidy. We'll call that log. Start with the highest. So just drag them in. You can see it's still there. It's looking good, isn't it? So I'm going to extract the materials in HoloLog. Yeah, that'll be the one. Why not? Okay. So knowingly the pivot goes all awry, but what I tend to do is I kind of place it you can see why I was worried about these things that were sticking out. Are we on that side? Pretty good. Yeah. So that's the high res. So I've got this tool. I can make it available, but essentially it just kind of nests whatever you've got selected into a game object. And I'm going to move pivot to bounce center, which is what I want. So I'm just going to make it a little bit easier to move and scale. Yeah, that's good. I could move the pivot some more and kind of just get it, down on the ground. In fact, you can use this to go on the Y, but I think the bounce is way lower. So ideally I want it to be kind of hitting the ground. That's about right, I think. Okay. And next up, textures. So they're okay, but nothing amazing. There's no, if you look at the materials, first of all there are 4 of them, so there's 4 draw calls, and it's just an albedo. It's literally just those 4 maps that we have from Meshroom. So what I want to do is first of all atlas the textures and then bring them into Materialize to get some normal maps and just a little bit of depth and to them. So first things first, tools, is it? Yeah, SimpleLOD. Back up the selection and you need to select, so back up the selection, you need to select the one with the materials in order to be able to bake the atlases. You need to make them more readable. It does have a habit of kind of messing around with these values, so keep an eye on them, but it's nothing, there's no magic going on there. So literally you drag and drop onto the top one. This is a really nifty little utility. It's not perfect, but it's dead useful. And my original textures are 4K, but I think I'm going to bring everything down just because we're talking, it's a game engine, you know, I'm not doing a crazy high-res renders or offline renders, so I'm just going to keep it like essentially half the resolution of each of those into a single atlas that's 4K. And when you're happy, I'm just keeping an eye, making sure that all the bits are using, you know, the full area of the atlas, and that is now apply state changes. It will take a while. It's doing a lot of crunching of, you know, texture, reading the texture and creating a new atlas. Okay, so it's done. If you're not happy with the results, essentially you can see what's happened, and it's now there's only one material. You can click revert, but now that's looking really nice to me. All good. So first thing I usually do is go and find the material and name it something that's meaningful. So hololog material interest, and I also grab that, and I tend to move it in the same place as the material. It has so SimpleLOD does its texture atlases and just moves everything into its own folder, and I just prefer to keep them in the same place. So hololog, yeah. Good, but I should probably keep it in here, and then make sure that you're at 4K because it might default to 2. So now I've got a single image. Save the scene, and the next thing that we want to use is Materialize. It's again free. It's a Windows application. It was actually made in Unity, and one of the problems with it being made in Unity is it's got really poor UI, shall we say. but it's pretty good at what it does. Now let me find it on my desktop. Where have I put it? That's Quicksaw. Too many games that I never have time to play. No, I'm gonna have to. Oh, sorry, it's there. It's not that, it's the ugly M. Right, here we go. So, it's not the best interface, as I say, and you'll recognize this as the kind of the default UI elements in the Unity project. There's some good tutorial that I'll link to that gives you an overview of how this works. I'm just going to do a whirlwind tour. Essentially, we're starting with just a diffuse map. So O is for open. We want to go and find our diffuse map. Now, where's that project? Oh, it's just the problem. It's like not a Windows file browser, so it makes it kind of hard to get to where you want to go. So we're in here. Yeah, it's Nature Manufacture. That's the one. So Nature Manufacture 2018. Yep. Assets, Photogrammetry, SimpleLOD, Materials, Atlas Material. There it is. Select that. Okay. If you click on Show Full Material, then it kind of gives you a. You can, look around. But it makes more sense if you're doing kind of materials from scratch. What we're going to be doing, I don't think we're going to be really needing to do too much of this, but I want to keep an eye on just my bark and just make sure that it starts popping a little bit more. So from the diffuse map you can create a height map. Some of these you can't create, so the normal map is created from the height map, so you can't create the normal map until you've got a height map. So with that in place, I can click create, and it's got some just very basic defaults, and if you click set as height map and then show full material, then it updates our preview. Now you can see it's like way over what I would need it to be, so you can keep editing it. So go back to create. You can use some of their presets. The other thing that's useful is you've got a preview essentially of what you're getting here. So I mean, obviously just watch the videos for a better understanding of how to set these sliders in a way that's meaningful. A height map essentially is white to black. Black is no height, white is the maximum height. So you're kind of looking for a smooth gradient. Whoa. I'm not sure if any of those are. That looks better. Use their cracks preset, whatever that is. Now I just want, again, not to be actually what. Yeah, that's more like it. So set as height map, show. So it's still too high, but we're getting the kind of smoothness that we need. Maybe, maybe not. I just kind of play around with it, to be honest, until I start getting what I want. I think these gains are way too high. I think that's what my problem is. So it's starting to be a bit better, and you can obviously, so you've got some height. Oh, it's not that. Starting to look pretty good. And I will be reducing the actual game, but that's kind of feeling like bumpy. I think that's okay. We can always go back and tweak, you know. Smoothness, metallic. Not 100% sure whether we're going to need metallic or how to set it, to be honest. And I would not expect do a low bias, because I can't think of I don't think of wood as having any metallic. And let's have a look. I'm just going to slightly winging it on this. Smoothness similarly, although it'd be nice to have a little bit of smoothness. Just go with that, hey. Set to smoothness. I think the one that I'm most interested in is the AO map. Because that really brings out some interesting colours, shadowing, you know. Let's see what we've got. So you've got AO, we don't use edge map in Unity, we've pretty much got everything we need. So what do you do next? Save project. And before you do that, because when you save the project it will save all your files, so choose what you want. I tend to go with ping, and the reason for that is I've got this packing utility that deals only with pings, not TIFFs or targets, or it does pings and JPEGs. But in Unity the metallic map and the smoothness are together, so I'll go with ping, save project, and I think we're in the same project. Oh yeah, it shows it as these buttons, yeah, materials. So what are we going to call it? What was it called? HoloLog. Materialize. I usually would actually save this outside of the Unity assets because this is not important to Unity, but anyway, I'll do it that way. Yeah, and That's fine. So before I close it, let's double check we've got the files we want. Yeah. There you go. Makes more sense to me this way. Yeah, so there's the Materialize file that Unity will know what to do with. But we've got texture atlas, and then so there's the original one, but we could still use that. But then the AO, the height, brilliant. Okay, we're good to go. Close that. And back in Unity, give it a chance to load its stuff, and select these and make sure they're set at 4K, because that's what we're dealing with. Although there's something to be said for reducing the size of those, actually, for performance reasons and memory wise. Do you really need a 4K AO map, 4K normal map? Actually no, well, it's a bit high res and you can always downsize later. So on here, that's that. So if you hover over there, you can see it says metallic, red, smoothness, alpha. That's that metallic, smoothness joined together. So I've got to do that. Texture channel packer, metallic, smoothness, and extract from doesn't really matter because they're on every single channel RGB on these. 4K, yeah, that's fine. I think you need to do update preview before you can save it. Again, it's crunching numbers, so we have to be a little bit patient. Okay, and I want to export to assets. Log, and I'll call it Metallic R. That so we don't lose it. Okay, so you've got an alpha. Just do that so you can actually see what we're working on. So there's that one. As I say, I don't think I did a mega amount of work on that. See a little bit of smoothness over there, but do I want smoothness? Not really. I'm more interested in the normal map. Wow, so I probably went, oh, it's not. Okay, fixed now. It's looking good. Yeah. So obviously you don't want to go too crazy into territory where things go all black, but you can see how it brings out the cracks. I think go to where you notice it and then pull back would be my recommendation. Actually, you know what I should do is make a copy. Do that again. Remove of all this stuff so we can compare it like a before and after thing. I don't think that map is worth having anyway. Okay. See that subtlety in the, yeah, maybe a bit more. So ambient occlusion, lovely. Height, don't think I've done so well on my height map actually. It's way over. It's gonna just, so I think if I'm gonna do something I'm just gonna have to redo the height map. That's just completely messed up. That height map needs redoing, but otherwise, look at the difference. Without, flat, with, just brings it together nicely, doesn't it? It's like so let's try, let's save that. Let's do a little bit more work. It's the height map. Now interesting, the height map was completely messed up. I should have saved the favourites. That would have, but I think I've already got one. Yeah. Is that where I meant to go? No. Manufacture. So I think the see this still loading. Yeah, it probably is. I think it's still, yeah, it's still loading. Okay. Okay, height. The problem I've got is it's way too much. So should I try just doing point of highest line? Does that help? Who knows? Now, I think S is for save. Go to ping. 7.9, keep an eye on these. So they're all 2307 or so. Yeah. So let's try this. Right. Did it save it? Pass. No. Well, if it did, it doesn't look. It's annoying. That's the thing, they're all pretty cryptic. I don't want to lose all the other ones. It's being changed. 11:15. Oh, I have a feeling I just need to refresh my. Or else I'm saving somewhere. Atlas materials. Log materialize height, log materialize height. For some reason it's not updating, but it is in here, because that definitely looks different. Let's have a look what Unity thinks. So height. Still a bit masked, isn't it? So if anybody's got any advice, I think I've just got a poor quality whatever. So I'm just going to take it off. It's a shame too though, eh? Let's have a look at this file. Here's the file I'm working on. Definitely updating. Let's see if we can change it some more. Let's go default, see what happens. Set as height map. Save. Height map. Select. No. I guess if you know what you're doing, you're not going to have too as much trial and error. So try doing the opposite to what I was trying to do. See if adding more contrast is going to help. Possibly. I mean, I guess it'd be in like sensible settings and not get that blackness. Original diffuse. Height from normal. Let's try that. A roundabout way, and really not the classic way to do it. That's made no difference. It's not. It's definitely that high map that's messing things up. It's just like too much. It needs to be so much more subtle somehow. What am I not doing? I mean, talk about subtle, it's like there's hardly anything in there. Final contrast, final bias. Okay, it's good to see what happens when you go. This is how you learn, just trying things out. better, possibly, because it's the so hard to tell. I might call it a night. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's something so flat and grey. Select, yeah, that's the one. Would have such a big impact. It's the edges, it somehow needs to. Interesting. Need to do some learning about that. Because that's a shame not to be able to bring in that little bit of height. So let's try again. This is the one. Select. Nope. Yeah, so I'm just going to take that off. But I'm still really happy with it, to be honest. It's probably slightly big. Compared to okay. If you remember, we did have some LODs. I could start adding in the other ones, but and do essentially the same process. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. Where's the other log? In a different terrain. actually sitting up. Gosh, I say that. Yeah, that's fine. Nice. Okay, let's go see this thing. Maximize. Save. There's the original one I did. Oh, I managed to put it right in the middle of and here's the new one. Move it out of the way of the grass. Beautiful, really sits nicely. Right, the other one is down here somewhere, I think. There you are. Definitely will need some lodding. But there's something, I don't know, really compulsive about these photogrammetry models. Great stuff. Really pleased with that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. My usual slightly long-winded video, but hopefully you'll have learnt about the ups and downs and the various processes. And I'll catch you in the next one.